This is going to be a lot of fun to do. Hello everyone and welcome to another series of reviews. Last week I started taking a look at Kingdom Hearts 2.8 pack for PS4 by reviewing the shorter game in said collection. Link in the description below for that video. And if you've seen my channel at all, then you know that I've been live streaming both games to the extent that, well, I've been allowed to. There's a lot of block footage in point 2 that doesn't seem to be the problem with 3D, HD. I know that's a lot of D's, just work with me. Anyway, before I actually start, this game is supposed to be for Kingdom Hearts 3, what Chain of Memories was for Kingdom Hearts 2. I really picked a bad place to start talking about this series, but I'll be doing the other games when they get their PS4 releases, as that's the console I own, that's the console I can record off of, etc. Now we're starting. This statement might bite me in the ass a little bit later on, but this game's plot starts off surprisingly simple. I definitely feel like this is gonna bite me in the ass later on. I can just feel it. So we start quickly with this scene, which leads into the true beginning of the game. Anyway, after that quick scene, the game plunges you into Destiny Islands for the tutorial, with Kingdom Hearts 1, Sora and Riku appearing. I skipped that part to explain the plot, and what it comes down to is present day Sora and Riku are tasked by Master Yen Sid to take their Mark of Mastery exam to defeat Xehanort. Because apparently you can't be a self-taught Keyblade master. But this exam sees our heroes going through worlds that were restored at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1.
And mark my words.
Okay, now bear with me on this one, but they were not fully restored and been put in a sleeping state, leaving them disconnected from the other worlds. It's up to Sora and Riku to defeat this game's version of the Heartless, known as Dream Eaters. Yeah, there are just about as many varieties of enemies in this game as there are sodas. Go figure, but... Anyway, Sora and Riku have to awaken the sleeping worlds and return them to the realm of light using the good versions of Dream Eaters known as spirits to help guide them through the sleeping worlds, which honestly make Riku totally overpowered, but more on that later.
Everybody got that? Good!
The two are then separated from each other following the Destiny Islands incident, with Sora waking up in, I guess waking up. More on that later. We're all still really dreaming here. But they wake up in sleeping Traverse Town, which really gives us two player characters from the start, which, let's be honest here, Riku is the more developed character in the whole series. No. Hashtag Riku fanboy for life. Each character goes through 7 worlds, which actually start with the iconic Traverse Town, and seeing it on a modern console makes me nostalgic for the original game, as we even get a younger looking Sora. Anyway, gameplay wise, Sora and Riku both move and control exactly as you expect them to in a Kingdom Hearts console game, with a few new mechanics such as being able to fly around, basically overpowered from the get-go, with flow motion, which beginning of the game me doesn't prefer, because I just took a while to get used to it, but later in the game me says it's fun and it's useful in combat and on certain bosses. A friend of mine who also has this game says that he's gotten used to it and kind of likes it, so it might be me. But as I said earlier, our new version of the Heartless are actually called Dream Eaters and are a hell of a lot more useful than other party members have ever been. Especially when you get through the Spirits creation menu, which I didn't figure out my first playthrough. It took me playing on Proud mode to really kind of embrace it. But I've got some pretty powerful spirits, I just need to level them up. But the real-time combat system makes a return, with attack being your default command, and unfortunately we don't have access to all of our magic, all of our items. The command deck is back, which I hope you like scrolling for that cure or potion, because if you don't grind you're really gonna need those healing commands the way that I do. But it's annoying, but it's not too upsetting. Now, I'm not gonna cover everything in the menu screen because, hell, the journals alone and the mementos would take a long time, and I don't want this to be, I don't know, an hour long. So I'll just cut to the chase. Sora and Riku obviously get their command deck system, which I mentioned earlier. And it kind of feels like the original games, that you can upgrade your character and truly make them overpowered. However, I'm still struggling with getting used to the command deck since I'm used to the original 2 games, but the result of skipping out can only be described as this. I died a lot there, but we get the return of the upgradable Keyblade, though I do like Riku's default. Again, Riku fanboy for life. However, different Keyblades offer boosts in strength, magic, reality shifts, which allow you to do a variety of things depending on which world you're in. I'm not going to showcase all of them, but they really come into play later in the game simply for level progression in terms of getting through the world and defeating enemies, with the best one being in the final world. But I usually go with that. Anyway, spirit creation, I think I mentioned this earlier, but throughout the game you get dream fragments, and you can use them to create a dream eater that fights for the forces of good. As you saw from my menu screen, I have 2 dinosaurs on proud mode, which I'm probably going to carry over to critical mode since you do carry them over. But I didn't use it much my first time around. And during the second run, I've been using it a bit more. And both characters do receive power-ups from them when your link meter is full. When Sora links up, he teams up with his Dream Eaters to perform powerful combination attacks as seen here. Riku also gets a power-up points that absorbs his Dream Eater. The definition of overpowered really quickly. Overall, it's a neat mechanic, not one that I was ready to experiment with my first time around, but obviously better spirit with different combinations of and they really come in handy, especially if you're playing on a harder difficulty, like I am currently doing. Also new for this game is the drop system. Traditionally in a Kingdom Hearts game, you start with one character, you finish that character's story all the way through. Well, not in this game. In this game, switching characters is actually kind of mandatory, but you could do it whenever you want. But the switches will happen when you hit a certain point on your drop meter, which means it's depleted down to 0, which means it's a kind of a core mechanic. I was once in the middle of a boss fight and I dropped because my meter hit 0, or it was fully dropped in the middle of a boss fight, and I had to start over when I dropped back. But I digress. There's power-ups and items that keep you from dropping, just so that doesn't happen, which I didn't really look into until after that boss fight. Anyway, we also have diving. Diving is actually our 3rd D. We've got 3 mods dropping, and I guess distance is the diving. I'm going with it. But this is how you travel through the world in this game, and Sora and Riku do this diving minigame with certain objectives such as defeating an enemy or collecting coins.
Here we go!
Overall, a different approach is fresh to the series, and I would like to see that actually this implemented more instead of just because I prefer this to this Double ship that always felt kind of pointless. I'm not really going to talk about the worlds because any Kingdom Hearts fan knows the formula by now. Although this time around we get Hunchback of Notre Dame, Tron, Pinocchio, Country of the Musketeers, and Fantasia of all worlds, which is actually very interesting, with the rest only appearing in cutscenes. I've showcased a couple worlds. I wanted to do more, but getting all of the footage downloaded and processed in time wasn't going to happen. But I can promise that all of these worlds look and keep true to the original formula. Sora and Riku keep running into this guy from the Organization 13 cloak, so we know he's not good news, but he'll be covered in the spoiler section. It's Kingdom Hearts. We all know the presentation is beautiful, especially when Square Enix decides to remake a handheld on a console. They really go all out, and since I haven't played the original version of this game, I would normally do an original versus HD, but since I haven't played the original, I'm not going to do that. But the original was on the Nintendo 3DS, which I don't have. And apparently it used the touchscreen for a lot of these mini games, which had to be completely reworked to work with a regular controller. And the effort's always appreciated. Just keep up the good work, and hopefully we get Kingdom Hearts soon instead of later. And I'm going to take a minute now to say that if you don't like spoilers, this is where you should take warning. And with that being said, here's my earlier statement biting me in the ass. Okay, that guy you kept running into is the bad guy, and he's been playing on Sora and Riku's weaknesses literally the entire time. He is actually the young version of, I'm going to say, Terranort. Or I'm just going to call him Xehanort. But he's been gathering other versions of himself to serve as his own vessel to recreate the true Keyblade. It's spelled with, I think it's the Greek letter key, not the regular Keyblade. But this is where the confusion starts, so get ready. Sora defeats Xemnas, and his heart is swallowed into darkness and encased in Ventus's armor. Riku is then told that he's actually been traveling through Sora's dreams as a Dream Eater by Ansem, who is swiftly defeated before Riku goes back and defeats young Xehanort. Forget Sora. This endgame is all about Riku. I'm going to start showing his footage from now on. After all, Riku was supposed to be the Keyblade Master, not Sora.
Riku!
But it all ends here. There can't be two Keyblade Masters.
What are you talking about?
Let the Keyblade choose. Its true master! Maleficent was right. You don't have what it takes to save Kairi. It's up to me.
I bet you forgot about that. I didn't. I remembered. This guy remembered that Riku was supposed to be the Keyblade Master, not Sora. Anyway, loading aside, back to the story. Anyway, adult Xehanort, you know, the guy from the PSP game, Birth by Sleep, that I never played, is trying to make Sora the final vessel of darkness to create the, again, it's Keyblade with the little letter X, not regular key. But Sora is rescued by the now human version of Axel, just in the nick of time, which causes Xehanort to disappear. Sora is brought back to Yen Sid, where Riku enters Sora's dreams and releases his heart by defeating Nightmare Ventus, while also receiving research data that Ansem the Wise, aka Diz. Gee, I should have started a counter on how many different Kingdom Hearts games references I've put in here. Anyway, that's not important. Riku is then returned to the Realm of Light for the second time and declared a Keyblade Master for reawakening Sora. Axel, aka Lee, is also now a Keyblade wielder, because logic dictates that we must have an unresolved plot point in a Kingdom Hearts game. Okay, time travel aside, this was probably more straightforward than I thought, but I've gone over and watched this a few times. I've played it a couple of times, so I kind of understand what the story is trying to do. Well, that was different to say the least. Sora failed in his quest. Can't talk right now. Sora fails in his quest to become a Keyblade Master. However, we get to see Riku succeed and become a Keyblade Master, though. Riku fans will probably like this better because his combat style is different enough, and the true endgame focuses on him instead of Sora, which is refreshing for a change. Usually Sora gets to hog all the glory. For me, this game was truly worth waiting for on a console release, as it sets the stage, at least in my opinion, for the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3. Riku gets a little bit more character development this time around than Redemption, which is always nice. I would definitely recommend this game to Kingdom Hearts fans, even though playing as Riku quite honestly makes playing as Sora boring in comparison. My streams proved that, as I would honestly prefer playing as Riku by choice more than playing as Sora. It also made some sense out of the ending by Point 2, which I covered last week, because the ending of that game also ties into the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3. And I would definitely recommend this pack to fans of the series, but newcomers might not understand everything that's going on here. And for you newcomers who have PS4 and don't play Kingdom Hearts and would really like to get into the series, I would pick up the 1.5 and 2.5 remix pack next month when it comes out on March 28th. And I will be streaming. It is coming soon, guys. We just have to hang on. We know it's coming. We just need to skip time to get it. And I promise I will stream all of it and review it, at least until Sonic Mania comes out, at which point I'll be covering that game. Next week I'll be doing the cinematic that ties in with the mobile game for iOS and Android, so keep your eyes open for that. Though instead of a formal review, it'll probably just be me talking on camera the whole time, with the occasional screenshot, or who knows, it might even just be me talking over some of the footage from the film. I don't know yet. I haven't written any thoughts down. But that's all I have for today. And as I always say, have a great day. Hey, if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and pass this video along to your friends, you know. I want to try and grow a little bit here. And I don't know, I'm just throwing it in there because everybody says that at the end of a video. So, bye.